Live your life within the moment, and don't go wait until the morning. You never know when it is over. All that I know is we'll get older. So let us dance this night away.
Hello everyone. How's everybody doing today? If you're new to the video, I'm Jay. Nice to meet you. If not, welcome back. Good to see you again. So for today's video, I wanted to cover two phrasal verbs. They are somewhat similar, and the reason why I decided on these two phrasal verbs is I get a lot of students in my classes that ask me, what's the difference between come over and drop by? So before we get started, I wanted to just talk a little bit about phrasal verbs. So phrasal verbs are made up of a verb, which can be changed depending on its tense, and is most often followed by a preposition. And it's usually the preposition part of the phrasal verb that makes a student really confused. And it also usually doesn't have anything to do much with the phrasal verb itself. So if you do get really confused by phrasal verbs, I don't blame you. And there isn't really any set rule for trying to learn a phrasal verb by following some sort of rule. Basically, you just have to learn phrasal verbs individually and learn whether the phrasal verb is separable or it's not separable, meaning that we can put usually a pronoun in between. My goal today is to teach you the difference between come over and drop by, or drop in, or swing by. So when we use the phrasal verb come over, we use it quite often. And it's usually used when it's a reference to someone coming over to your house or coming over to where you are, and they're going to spend some time. So it's not going to be just a quick visit. So let's use the example of maybe your parents. So they call you on the phone and they say, hey, we're going to come over today. How about we come over for dinner? You say, okay. You then know that you have to scramble around, clean up your house, make sure that everything looks good, and start probably preparing some food, something to drink, because you know that your parents will come over and they'll probably stay over for quite some time. Maybe an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. If I wanted to use come over in the past tense, I would say came over. So maybe I'm telling some friends at work, hey, on the weekend, my parents came over for dinner. So let's look at the verb come. Usually, we use body language. Hey, come over here. So I think that part is fairly easy to understand. But the over? What does that mean? So I usually like to explain to students over can be from one point to another. So if you were to jump over the river, you would start here and you would go to here. Or I'm going to stay over this weekend. So maybe they'll come on Friday and they'll stay over until Sunday, covering a couple of days. So we often use this phrasal verb to explain that somebody went from one point to another. So if you said, hey, come over here, means they're going to start from somewhere in a different spot and they're going to come towards you and be where you are. Now, let's talk about drop in, drop by, swing by. This is a phrasal verb that native speakers tend to use when you are referring to a quick visit. So let me give you an example. If I maybe lent a book to a friend and I needed the book back, I might call him up and say, "Hey Peter, I'm going to drop by to pick up the book that I lent you." So Peter would then assume or hear in my phrasal verb drop by, which means probably not going to spend much time. So he doesn't even really need to put the coffee on. I'm not going to stay. I'm just going to go over very quickly to pick up the book. Now, we can use swing by or drop in as well. Drop in is sometimes used when it's a surprise. So you might say to another friend, "Yeah, my parents dropped in on the weekend." So we use this one also to talk about if somebody is going to or they did surprise you. So just to review, we had come over, drop by or swing by, and drop in. I know I added a little extra one, but it's good to explain the differences between these ones. So to native speakers, they will hear this subtle difference and sort of assume that you mean a time frame. So come over, you're going to stay for a while. Drop by, you're not going to be there for long. Or drop in, it was like a surprise. So try this one out. Maybe make up a couple of sentences and try the difference and see if you can understand the difference. And leave your sentences in the chat or the comment section, and I will get back to you and answer you. All right? So nice to be here again. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.